This video is made possible by North Naperville Autos. If you're looking for a quality used car in the Chicagoland area, North Naperville Autos is here to help. Browse their inventory at northnapervilleautos.com and drive home in a new vehicle today.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2005 Chrysler Crossfire. Up front is a 3.2 liter V6 and down below is a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Crossfire because I've been trying to chase down one of these cars for a very long time and I'm finally behind the wheel. But before we get back to that 3.2 liter under the hood, you have to understand a lot of politics before getting into the Crossfire. So if you want to skip around, there are chapters down below if you want to skip this whole backstory. But this is a Chrysler Crossfire. However, this is mostly a Mercedes car. Back in 1998, Mercedes and Chrysler actually merged. And that relationship lasted until 2007, where Daimler-Benz, Mercedes, and Chrysler actually split ways. However, there were two main cars to come out of their relationship. The Chrysler Pacifica, which I actually have one at home, sadly, and then this, the Chrysler Crossfire. Now, of course, Mercedes and Chrysler collaborated on a couple other things, like the Dodge Charger and Challenger actually share a chassis with an E-Class, but the Pacifica and Crossfire were really the two siblings to come out of the marriage. But now, so many years later, that poses a big issue here for the Crossfire and Pacifica. Because they were such a collaborative vehicle, and this is really mostly Mercedes parts, the Chrysler dealer doesn't want to touch them. They say, hey, that's a Mercedes, take it to Mercedes. It has a Mercedes engine and Mercedes transmission and Mercedes electronics. So then you go, okay, and you take your Chrysler Crossfire to Mercedes. And Mercedes says, what are you doing with that here? That's a Chrysler. That's not a Mercedes, get that out of here. And so you're forever stuck in maintenance limbo with these cars. And I'm sure if you ask a Crossfire owner, they're going to have a similar story. And I'm interested to hear yours. So with all of that out of the way, let's get back to that 3.2 liter V6 under the hood. It's a Mercedes engine. It's the M112E32 engine from Mercedes. And interestingly enough, it's an SL platformed vehicle, so it gets pretty much an SL drivetrain. But you could get an SRT6 Chrysler Crossfire, which came with a supercharged 3.2 liter. I'll put the horsepower and torque up on the screen. It doesn't make crazy power and it doesn't make crazy torque. However, it's a decently fun driving experience. I'm having a fun time driving it around town here. It's enough power for that. Just don't expect any crazy lap times. Not bad, but nothing crazy. Like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed automatic transmission. Again, this is a Mercedes transmission. It's the 5G-tronic for you Mercedes fans, and it shifts fine. It's doing the job. Last but not least, the Crossfire is rear-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. We have a lot of German to get through in here. Well, in front of me, I have 3 main gauge pods. On the left is my coolant temperature and fuel. Then I have my speedometer in the middle, and I have my tachometer on the right. It has sort of this old aviation style lettering to it. I feel like I'm in like a 1930s plane, and I like it. It's clean, simple, and different, and it's easy to read. The one thing I don't like is the traction control icon is very bright orange. This is it not illuminated, and you just see it all the time, so it's not very clean looking for the traction control. But other than that, the gauges look great. On the steering wheel, I don't have any buttons. I do have a stalk for cruise control behind it, but I don't get any volume or skip track buttons on the back of the steering wheel like you do in the Chrysler Pacifica. To the left of me, I have my headlight switches, and on the door, I just have a speaker and the handle. I do have this giant grab bar, very interesting looking door card, very European here. Moving into the center, I have 2 climate control vents and then my climate controls themselves. These feel kind of cheap, they look kind of cheap, and they feel very Volkswagen actually, which is totally a different company altogether, not even related to Mercedes. But they feel very Volkswagen to me. However, I do like the fact that the recirculating icon actually has a Crossfire on it. So there was some time and effort actually put into this car. This wasn't just parts brought over from Mercedes and slapped in. This is a specific part for this specific car, and I find that really interesting. Then I have the radio. I do have like a CD player, no aux, of course. 2005 is kind of before that era. However, something interesting is that when you start the vehicle, it says Chrysler across the front. Why? It almost seems like you're trying to convince us that this is a Chrysler. It's really not. We know it's not. But saying Chrysler, it just sounds like you're trying to like reassure yourself. No matter how loud you shout, you're still a Mercedes. Down below that, we have very Mercedes buttons down here. 2 different levels of heated seats. I really enjoy that. Then I have the active spoiler. So there's a spoiler on the back of the car, we'll talk about later with the looks, but it goes up and down and you can flip that at the hit of a button. I absolutely love that. Then I have my traction control off button, which illuminates the light on the dash oh so much. Then the hazard switch, lock and unlock, and our towing mode. So in Mercedes, not in Chryslers, but in Mercedes, if a car is lifted off of its wheels, it will set the alarm off. So if you're going to put this car up on a lift or on a tow truck, you have to disable that alarm, and that's done down on the switch below. I'm sure a couple of mechanics have gotten a real good scare from that. Then I have the heated seats for the passenger. Out in the middle of nowhere, I have my airbag turn on and off button for the passenger and a 12-volt outlet off to the other side. But that's not all. On the far left, I have a hidden ashtray. Now, this is the first of a couple hidden compartments in this car. And I have this little pop-out ashtray. Not sure if I'd use it, but at least I get it. Then I have my transmission shifter in a couple of modes. So next to the shifter, I have W for wet and S for sport. So a couple different trans modes I can flip through. And then I have the shifter itself. It's fine. It feels kind of cheap, but I'm not shocked. To the left and right of the shifter, I have my window switches. Again, very European to have the window switches down on the shifter or center console rather than on the doors. Here in America, we traditionally have them on the doors unless it's a Jeep Wrangler. So very European there. And then we have this unmarked knob on the center console. This unmarked knob is for your mirrors. I don't know why they didn't put a little mirror icon on it, but it's to adjust your power mirrors. Then we have this long rectangular sort of slot looking thing. When you press it, it opens up the world's worst cup holder ever. So, being the world's worst cup holder, we have to do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Crossfire, and there's absolutely no chance this would even work. It's just implausible. It's just implausible. It's a shame. It's a shanty cup holder that shouldn't exist. Then we do have a little hidden center console at the very back. Now, the seats are decently comfortable. However, they are this sort of early 2000s hard, shiny leather, and I can't say they look super premium, but they go with the rest of the gray on black interior in here. They're just very dated at this point. It is what it is. Thank God we don't have back seats, but we will do a trunk review. Okay, so I got out to film the trunk here. There's birds chirping and tons of rain. It literally sounds like the Rainforest Cafe in here. I know that's probably a Midwestern deep cut, the Rainforest Cafe, but it smells like it too. Anyway, let's talk about the Crossfire here. So trunk open up like this. Kind of a small opening, not gonna lie. Kind of a small opening, but once we're in here, okay space. Now you can go a lot out to the sides here. Decent space there, but other than that, this opening is just so small that it's kind of annoying, not gonna lie. I do get a pass through into the passenger compartment, which is nice, but other than that, I don't get any amenities back here at all. There's the trunk for you. Not super useful, but I'd say on the upper side of useful, given the fact that this is a 2-door coupe. I'd say more useful than a 350Z, if it had a slightly larger opening. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I have quite a bit to talk about with this. Well, first of all, as I've been told, white is actually a very rare color for the Crossfire. You don't really see them in white, and that paired with this car only having 54,000 miles will carry it slightly a premium. But the more you look at the Crossfire, the more body lines and the more angles you see. The Crossfire actually gets its name, allegedly, from the body line going down the side of the car. It starts off concave and ends convex. It does this switch along the side of the car. Very, very interesting, and you don't see styling like that on cars. But furthermore, you have these ribs on the hood, like it's a 1950s Chrysler Town and Country before it was a minivan. You get this sort of spine on the top of the car. You have little headlights and big arching hips in the back. It's a very peculiar looking car. And honestly, I have to say, the more I look, the more I like. It's really growing on me, and I think it's actually kind of a handsome car now. Definitely something you don't see much of. But now let's talk about the Crossfire as a whole. Well, as I stated earlier with my long-winded intro, this car is lost in limbo. And sadly, it will forever be lost in limbo. Not only because dealerships will not support this car anymore, but also because this car kind of almost started off in limbo. Chrysler and Mercedes sat down and they're like, yes, okay, let's make a sports car. But they didn't do anything hardcore sports car about this besides offering the SRT6, which was supercharged, but that still wasn't that sporty of a car. I'm sure the concept drawings made it look real sporty, and it has the look of a sporty car. It almost looks like a 350Z. It almost looks like a lot of two-door coupe sports cars that I've dealt with, but it has kind of a lazy engine. The transmission does not want to kick down. It doesn't want to give you those extra gears. Even ideally, this car was stuck in limbo. Not really a sports car, not really a touring coupe. What is it? And this is further pushed by, if you go on the Wikipedia page, it says the predecessor to this car was the Plymouth Prowler, and the successor of this car, coming after it, was the Maserati Quadruporte. What? What kind of family lineage is that? So that's it. As I am going to give this car back to North Naperville Autos, this car is going to be stuck in limbo. No way up, no way down, no way left, no way right. It's just in this weird spot. And even if these become collectible in the coming years, that's only going to reinforce needing a special mechanic to work on them. That's only going to reinforce their weirdness. This car will never be famous because it's good. It'll only be famous because it's weird. Chrysler Crossfire. What? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to North Naperville Autos for letting me take out their Crossfire. This is for sale right now from North Naperville Autos. If you are looking for a Crossfire, if you are looking to own something very different, very unique, show it off at a car show, something you won't really see all that much, definitely go check out North Naperville Autos. They are absolutely awesome. David and Ignacio are fantastic. They will help you. And the used car market is so crazy right now. They will help make sense of it all. They'll walk you through every step and find the perfect car for you. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.